And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK Show. And this is going to be episode 538. So I hope you guys have a great day. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week that is ahead of you. And in this episode of the MSK Show, we don't actually have a normal topic for this episode of the MSK Show like we normally would. Usually I would just pick out a topic from the news that would get, released and announced throughout the week, and we usually make a video about it. But since Lanterns premiered with its first episode yesterday, I thought to myself, you know what? Let's have the discussion for this episode of the MSK Show topic be on Lantern Season 1, Episode 1. So I was watching it before we started this episode of the MSK Show, and that will be the centerpiece of our discussion tonight. But yeah, I was actually having sex with Sydney Sweeney
No, you weren't.
yesterday after I got off work, and yeah, she left.
Already started.
Oh my!
What
God.
he means is a Sydney Sweeney body pillow.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, man! But our featured guest tonight for this episode of the MSK Show is Price of Reason, our usual sock puppet king man over there.
Well, it's nice to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, anytime, man. Last time you were on, I would say it would be better news because last time you were on, it was announced that Christina Hodson was going to be writing the Batman Brave and the Bold movie, which James Gunn didn't state otherwise. Goddamn.
Yeah, I don't know if that movie's ever going to happen. So you can,
Yeah.
So just like my dad, it might not ever be a part of my life. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it
mean,
definitely won't.
I know that I've been here a number of times, and I know there were at least one or maybe twice that we talked about James Gunn. But let me tell you that his position now couldn't be worse, in my opinion. I mean, at the time, you still had people on your panel kind of trying to say that no, he's doing great and all that stuff. I don't think people are all saying he's doing great now, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, and I've always told people this too. I like to be somewhat optimistic when these kind of things happen, but because I always like to, give someone the benefit of the doubt that they're going to do pretty good or bad. We just have to see it play out. And yeah, no, and it's not even like I'm afraid of admitting that I was wrong. It's like, should a person be wrong if their prediction was, hey, I hope he does good? Like, I hope they would hire a person that would run a DC universe in a cohesive way where the movies and TV shows are going to be good quality enough to really get people that are already fans of the product to be happy and stay with the product, and then also simultaneously attract new people too.
And
but
that is why when this whole thing was going on, I was the one person that was like, this is not going to turn out the way people hope it will. And you know what? Guess who was constantly said, well, you're prejudging, Jared, you're prejudging. I will accept my flowers now.
Jared, you're not getting flowers. You're a man. You know what you get at the end of the day? You get a fist bump.
I will say, though, you weren't the only one, because at best I could say that you and I said it.
Yeah.
I definitely said that. And I remember being on a stream here, and maybe you guys remember that even there were like some heated debates about it. And I said no, because I think that Superman had come out, and the media and Warner Brothers were really pushing this narrative that it was a huge financial success. And I was explaining that when a company like Warner Brothers invests hundreds of millions of dollars in a tentpole franchise movie like Superman, they expected that he brings $800 to $1 billion, $800 million to $1 billion.
And
once he didn't do
Man of
800
Steel.
million to $1 billion, that was a big issue. And they may not have said it publicly, but I was saying at the time that it's not a good sign. And it's also not a good sign for things that are going to, come afterwards. And that's exactly what happened.
And the other thing to bring up when it comes to Superman is this is a weird thing that people are now doing with that movie, where they're going, well, it did well on streaming. All right, do you have any proof? So are we just like Candace Owens now these days, where we just be saying random shit like that?
Those same people were like disputing me when I said the Snyder Cut did well on streaming. They're like, where are your numbers? And I'm like, oh, so it's okay when something you want to say is good on streaming, but not okay when other people use it?
Oh,
I can make
other
things.
thing,
I can make things easier for you. James Gunn's Superman, and I must have said it at the time, did
I
not.
think you did, yeah.
It didn't outperform Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. When Zack Snyder's Man of Steel came out, they said, "Man, Zack, we really wanted more money than this." James Gunn didn't even perform what he performed, and that's after years of inflation and all this other stuff. In comparison to Man of Steel, James Gunn's Superman was a failure if you compare 1-to-1. And then you had all these stories of, well, people don't like to go to see movies, but they went to see the Odyssey, they went to see Spider-Man. So,
or the worst excuse. Are you ready, Price? This was the one where I'm like, okay, now you're just reaching. When he said, Superman isn't as well known overseas as he is here, and I'm like, what?
Nonsense.
I guess by the numbers of the last movies, Spider-Man is the biggest superhero. Then I guess you would say Batman because it made a lot less than Spider-Man. Then you have Superman probably is there. Right? The fact that Batman and Superman now are taking backseat to Spider-Man is crazy. I'm not saying that is disrespect to Spider-Man. I mean, Spider-Man definitely deserves it to a certain extent, but
Batman, if they would have built something decent with a Batman for a number of movies, I think that there was something that you could have made money with,
right?
Like the Dark Knight trilogy. The thing with Spider-Man is it's not the first movie, Brand New Day. They did build on the goodwill of the previous ones. No Way Home, brought back the original Spider-Man. It did things that people were enjoying. And now, you could argue that Tom Holland isn't the best Spider-Man and Zendaya isn't the best actress or whatever you want to say. But at the end of the day, they deliver some kind of experience and they've gained fan goodwill. And if you had a proper franchise consistent with Batman, I think he could have made a lot of money too. It's just Warner Brothers have run this whole DC thing so poorly for so many years that we're not seeing those type of results.
All right. And before we get back to our discussion, we're going to do intros really quickly. We'll start with Joe, who was on vacation last week. He left me like my dad. He said he wasn't.
Yeah. And for some reason I came back and
why did you run, Joe?
I don't know. I maybe I have that Stockholm syndrome. I just can't leave my cabinets. I don't know. But Price of Reason, I do have a question for you. You said you've been on multiple streams with MSK before.
Yes.
Why?
You didn't like? Yeah.
I'll tell you why. Because I don't know. He just pops up and he's like, "Dude, you want to hop on this stream?"
He pops out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He pops out of nowhere, and I'm like, you know what? Why don't I join?
He's like a racist version of Maxoplex from Superman. He just pops up randomly.
Every single time. Every single crime.
Oh God. Well,
no, but seriously though, I joke around with it, but I do enjoy being on the show. It is a lot of fun.
Well, a lot of people do. I produce quality, unlike whatever the fuck I just watched.
But
whatever the fuck I just watched is not quality. I don't know what the fuck that was because that was like
join the club, bro.
Awful.
I wanted to make a comment about people talking about Superman doing well on streaming, and I believe it did. Probably a lot of people watched it, but really, who cares? Is it bringing in a lot of new subscribers? Their streaming service still loses tons of money. I mean, are the ad-supported tiers bringing in that much revenue? And I'm sure Supergirl, probably a lot more people watch it on streaming because they weren't going to go pay for that. So streaming numbers, in a way, are just kind of meaningless unless you see a big evolution of your numbers going up. And so you can just say, oh, it's great. Well, yeah, but people already have it and they watch it. I mean, I watch stuff on, I go on Paramount Plus and there'll be a movie on there because I get it for free, Paramount Plus. And I might try something out because it's free, So that streaming argument drives me insane because unless it's producing money, then the movie's a flop. And
I'll say what I think. I think that the streaming has some added value. I don't think that it's nothing, but I will say this. If you release a movie, especially something like a Superman, and especially, I think until this day, we don't even know the full amount that was spent on that movie. They say 250 million, and then there's another 150 on marketing, all this stuff. It added up in a way that I think if it didn't make like 800 million at the box office or 750, 800 million at the box office, it's already a loss. Can it make some money afterwards on streaming? Sure. But, and again, I'm not necessarily the world's number one Snyder fan, but at least I'm saying the guy made more in the theater, and his movies still do well on streaming, and, people bought physical copies. So if you compare one to the other, James Gunn underperformed. And then later you had the guy from Netflix sitting in Congress and saying that Superman underperformed because he was looking to buy the company and they had to tell him the truth. And the truth was the movie underperformed like everybody
That's why
said
they
it
took it
did.
off of streaming.
It
It
was,
wasn't like, oh, so you could be all caught up to watch Peacemaker.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Ted Sarandos. It was people
Yeah.
really are. It's really crazy how dumb the average person really is these days. We have access to the internet, which produces all types of clips and podcasts and
Your
everything.
truth, the internet.
Ted Sarandos testified. I mean, to be fair, people could say you could lie under oath. Sure, or that's possible, but he did say the movie did underperform.
He had no
They
reason to
wanted
lie.
buy the company. They wanted to buy the company, though. And DC is a big reason why anyone would want to buy Warner Brothers at all, period. Right?
You know what was funny about that? Because he was in the hot seat that they were saying, listen, if you guys buy Warner Brothers, you're gonna, rush things to streaming. And he was just trying to say, listen, sometimes movies underperform, so you need to bring them out to streaming quicker, like Superman. He was trying to cover his own ass. And the way he covered his own ass was that he threw James Gunn under the bus.
Yep,
Right.
that's true.
Bob, he's here.
Yeah.
He's our Rexident. Our Rexident. That's not even that's a dinosaur.
Rexident.
I just could have mind because the end of the Oak Street just came out and that dinosaur. So I just
I watched that and reviewed it, and
I had Rexy on my mind because
It was
Rexy's
a pretty
the,
bad movie.
Good lord.
yeah, my problem was I actually liked some of the dinosaur stuff. The problem is that when you started thinking about the script, none of it made sense whatsoever, and they gave you no explanation to everything. And I know J.J. Abrams was a producer on this thing, but he might as well have directed it because it was just one big mystery box where they don't explain one damn thing in the whole movie. It's
Great,
still,
I'm supposed to go see it tomorrow. Don't spoil the ending. Oh,
I'm not going to spoil it. It just there's no explanation whatsoever.
it's $5 Tuesday, so I'm going with a friend. We're gonna go see it.
I'll tell you what it is, and I won't ruin anything for you, because and I agree with you that it's like it looks like J.J. Abrams directed it without directing.
Yep.
People were saying, "Oh, he's just named as a producer." He's not named as a producer. He also, for years, hasn't had a movie in the theater. You better believe that as like the top producer and the guy that goes on all the posters, he was very hands-on involved. He fancied himself like a Spielberg, the way in the '80s Spielberg produced Back to the Future. He produced Poltergeist, and I think that J.J. Abrams fancied himself like a producer like Spielberg and thought, that somehow this would work. Now, the biggest problem with the movie, and I think with J.J. Abrams, is it seems to be a movie that he watched other movies, or he and the other guy he worked with, they watched a bunch of other movies that were successful in the past. And they took a bunch of elements thinking, well, we'll borrow this, we'll borrow that, we'll take this idea, we'll take that idea. But they don't know what to do with these ideas. And they don't know how to write a screenplay that explains whatever it is they took from other movies. The other people that made the other movies, they knew how to explain what they were doing. J.J. Abrams, in my opinion, just isn't smart enough to explain it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, this is the same guy who also, directed the best movie of all time, The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'll be thinking of that tomorrow when I'm watching it for $5.
but
I waited intentionally after I saw Bob's review. I'll wait till $5 Tuesday.
but Bob, he's our Mexican around here. So how was your weekend outside of watching the end of Oak Street?
Avocados from Mexico.
Otherwise, it was okay. Over on the last panel, we had some fun. We were doing a tier ranking of Steven Seagal movies, and that was kind of fun.
Okay, awesome. Jared, how you doing, man? How was your weekend?
Good. I watched Lanterns and then I did a review. So my friend Babs and I, because she's a huge Green Lantern fan, we've been doing the episode. So here's the thing: she watched it first. So I was doing stuff on my computer, probably reading a comic book. All of a sudden, I get a message that's like, "What the f was that?" And I'm like, oh boy, it's a Tom King classic. So I watched the series and I literally posted, what the F was that? And because it's like, and I was watching it, the number one thing that stood out to me is like, it could be a good show if it didn't have the Green Lantern stuff attached to it. But the problem is, it's a crappy Green Lantern show. Like he's upset about wearing the suit. He's very unimaginative with constructs. And then again, when I saw that ending, when I saw the ending to that episode,
Oh, we'll cover it. Yeah.
oh, I was like, I was like, at this point, I'm like, yeah, this show's dead. Because here, and you know what I saw? Number one thing, MSK. So everyone was like coping. Oh, they'll undo this later on the season. You'll see. And it's like, aren't these the same people that said that James Gunn would undo the super harem stuff in a later movie?
Also, in the same episode as they show, there's a way for him to exist even if he's dead. You know, guys, right? So. When people are, I'm like, did you actually watch the episode? Because they already established in the episode that there's a way for him to actually exist without actually being alive. It's like, this is my big problem with a lot of people these days. Are they actually watching what's going on, or are they watching something while a girl's giving them head or something, or while they're like doing the dishes? Because I feel like people actually aren't paying attention. It's like these same people that had said, well, Winter Soldier is the same thing as Jean Grey. He's redeemed. Like that, those aren't even close to the same comparables at all. Like you're not even paying attention to what the fuck they're even saying in the movies. Like what the hell?
I will say I did get some good news. It looks like my adventure with Superman is canceled. So that was one good like amount of like news for me today.
Oh my god!
Because that show, and everyone's like, "Oh no, the show is good. It got good like good ratings and views. It got the best views it's ever gotten." And I'm like, "Best views it's ever gotten. Interesting. Almost as if maybe it's not a popular show."
That's usually what she'll say for like video games too. They're always like, "Well, this game is highly rated by who? Oh, people that were given access to the game early." And give it a good review so they can get access to the next games.
Or people who say who refuse to admit when DC does anything bad, like anything new that comes out with DC. Oh, it's the greatest thing ever.
James Gunn cult is, man, I don't know what's worse, Snyder's cult or fucking James Gunn cult. Other people are
That's
insane.
the funny part about
fucking, I don't even know which one. Just toss a coin.
And the amount of stupid people I've seen trying to defend this show. When I'm like, so Snyder kills Jimmy Olsen in Batman vs. Superman, you all bitch and moan for 10 years. This happens in a Green Lantern show, and you all are quiet, like, let's see what happens.
All right, Price of Reason, how was your weekend, man? What did you do besides have sex with your wife?
I'm trying to think. I don't even remember. What did I do this weekend? I saw that stupid what's it called? That dinosaur movie that you guys talked about. It was
the End of Oak
awful.
Street. Yeah.
Yeah, that was terrible. I'm trying to think. What else did I do?
Well, you saw Lantern, so that's a double feature of shit you had to deal with this week.
Double feature of shit. I saw both of those. I also watched the show from the 90s, like a few episodes of Sliders, because we're doing a stream about it on Thursday. So I actually watched that. And
okay.
I can't think. I'm blanking out. I must have done something, but I can't remember what it was.
Oh, I forgot to ask you this because we're talking about DCU anyway. I know you didn't like Superman. Did you watch Supergirl?
Of course. All of these things are things that I've reviewed. Supergirl was a disaster. As much as Superman was bad, Supergirl was somehow significantly worse.
What does that mean? Our expectations were low, but holy fuck. Goddamn.
I'll tell you what, I think that the Superman movie, and I probably said it like when we talked about it a long time ago, I think that if it wasn't Superman, if it was just a new superhero that's self-deprecating and dumb, and you don't mind that, like kind of like Shazam or whatever, just some goofy idiot, it's fine if that movie was a superhero movie that's not Superman. It could have been passable for that. The problem was it wasn't a good Superman movie because it disrespected the character, in my opinion. In the case of Supergirl, I can't even say that if it wasn't Supergirl, it would have been a mildly watchable movie. It's like, no matter which character it was, it doesn't matter what you would have done there, that would have been a terrible movie. Yeah. And it absolutely was terrible.
And I told people, Supergirl as a character is kind of just better when she's around other people. Like a lot of people got to stop doing this thing of like every character deserves their own solo adventure. Is like, is that going to be interesting enough? And people always bring up like Guardians, when Guardians was only really successful because the other foundational movies were built before it. It's like, even if someone likes Superman, why would they want a Supergirl movie next? Like,
there's only one way you could get away with a Supergirl movie, and even that, you really need a good screenplay. But in addition to that, super hot woman, super hot. Like
Mhm.
you find the hottest woman in the world and she's Supergirl, maybe you have something to work with. I mean, at the end of the day, look at a movie like Wonder Woman, the first one. I
Mhm.
think that a lot of guys, but it's not even just guys, even ladies, what nobody wants to admit, even ladies prefer seeing nice ladies on screen. When
True.
some lady is sitting watching a movie, they don't want to watch some
Precious Whoopi Goldberg looking chick on screen.
Wait,
well, you're right. They don't want any kind of body positivity, whatever. They don't want any of
Yeah.
that. They want to see something glamorous too. Somebody like a bunch of bitter ladies, like a minority of bitter ladies decided that all these other women have to suffer and watch women that don't look good, and the men have to do that as well. And I think that so many movies that we've seen over the past maybe 5 years, 10 years, some of them may not have been good, but if you had a bunch of hot women in it, maybe some dude would have been like, all right, well, it's a stupid movie, but there's a bunch of hot women. Because men are really simple. You put a
Mhm.
few hot women on the screen, they can be a little bit forgiving.
wait a
Oh,
minute,
yeah.
Bryce. James Gunn told us that we wanted to see a messy Supergirl because no one's done that before. So they told us we wanted to see a girl take a leak, and we wanted to see a girl throw up 4 times and not shower and brush her teeth. I mean, that's what I was told. That's
Yeah.
what we were looking for.
We were also
Oh,
told
sorry, that's a
that
sarcasm.
we were also told that this is a movie that little girls can watch when they grow up and feel empowered.
Yeah.
Your company knocks on the door and you just start taking a fat dump and your hair vagina is almost out and you don't fucking wash your hands afterwards. Yeah, I
That was terrible.
think my little girl won't be watching.
You know, if you looked at Madam Web, they had 4 beautiful women in it, but they dressed them all up like,
Crappy, yeah.
they all look terrible. And then you look at the red carpet they had for it, and they're all showing their stuff and looking great in tight dresses. And
Then you watch the movie, you're like,
you watch
what
the
in the
movie, and you're
world?
like, why do
Having
you guys all
Sydney
look like
Sweeney,
12-year-old boys? I was like, what's going on?
I mean, having Sydney Sweeney in your movie and making her look dumpy is one of the strangest things I've ever seen in a movie.
You got to avert the male gaze because that's the worst thing ever.
Well, you
now.
brought up
In a
Patty
comic book movie.
Well, you brought up Patty Jenkins and Wonder Woman, and I've said this on the show many times. When they were asked if this character's for girl, like mostly for girls, no, they said it was for both boys and girls. They didn't alienate anyone from watching the movie either. And it's just, man, that Supergirl movie is just bad.
Even when they asked her, they once asked Gal if like her Wonder Woman is gay, because that's always the question they always ask.
Fucking
And she
hell,
goes, "That's
So
not
tired
really
of that.
something we're exploring in the movie."
Yep.
I'm
All
so
right.
tired of that. You know, are you queer adjacent, or it's like everybody? It's so old.
Like,
I'm- Some of it is that, these stupid reporters just do these kind of gotcha interviews that they really want the soundbite. But
yeah.
the studio does such poor work with these actors who don't seem to be good at it. You mentioned Gal Gadot. I think that she's handled herself in the press pretty well over the years. Usually in interviews, she's gracious, she's nice. I never felt like when she promoted Wonder Woman that she was trying to alienate men.
Right. Yeah.
She probably realized that a big portion of her audience are men, and probably best not to alienate them. If you have like the smallest understanding of a little bit of business, you understand that for your brand to take men like that may actually want to watch Wonder Woman on screen and to say like they suck is a really stupid thing to do. And thankfully, she never did that.
But luckily, Millie Alcock did, and we saw the inverse of that. It's crazy how all these retarded women who are probably divorced, have like 5 kids, have probably been ran through by like 10 different guys throughout their life, were saying things to us like, well, none of you men went to go support the movie. All right, that's cool. Why did most of you go do it then? What if Supergirl has this like big, huge female audience? Because actually, this is a hard pill to swallow for a lot of retards out there. Even the biggest female superheroes, fan bases of them are more men. More men are fans of the biggest female superheroes than women are.
After all, men made up the more audience for Supergirl. It's like, when are they gonna admit that because I think I know where this problem came from. Is like there was a study that was done years ago, like very much. Yeah, exactly. Where it was essentially the study was they asked women, "Hey, are you Marvel fans?" And here's the thing. They said yes because they thought the movies or like the movies they saw with their boyfriends and stuff. But all of a sudden everyone's saying, no, that means that there's this big female audience for the comics. There's never been that.
And that didn't even at the time. It's like, why would someone who have watched that movie automatically means they've read any comic books regarding that character? It's like they probably just, and that's what I've said. And like women are always like, man, hobbies are not gendered. Yes, they are. Do you have target demographics you sell to because that's your biggest fan base? Hobbies quite literally are gendered. Now, that's not to say that women can't be fans of this stuff or vice versa. Like, I'm not saying like a man can't knit or a man can't sew, but the biggest audiences for that stuff is women, though. And we don't argue that with women. I'm not going to go up to a girl and be like, you know what? I think men should be the biggest audience when it comes to knitting and sewing. You look like an idiot saying that. But when it comes to our stuff, it's always like, no, it's for girls. I like it as a girl. I guarantee you right now, when I went to school, there was probably maybe one girl interested in Star Wars stuff with the guys. I'd never seen, unless they hid it. Come on, social stigmas and all that stuff. Maybe they did hide it. But I'm just saying, do you guys remember going to school and having to hide like certain nerd things from people because it would make fun of you? Most of people
not really.
Girls. Oh
Bro,
god. Oh god.
Nowadays, if you discover a girl that's like a nerd and stuff that like loves comics and stuff, that's white.
It used to be
material right there.
I know she's a keeper.
Yeah, I know.
but-
Why would you? Well, it's like with my girlfriend, I told her, "You're about the one girl that this will work on." Have you seen my comic collection? It worked.
If you would find a girl that would be interested in like gaming or any of this stuff as much as you were finding like a golden nugget in a sea of shit. But now apparently all girls were always secretly fans of this stuff all along. Fooling us, obviously, just fuck us, right? But that's pretty much it for that. We're gonna cover one last thing before we go to the Lanterns season 1, episode 1 review. Hayden Panettiere just sadly passed away last night, apparently over overdosing. Like,
Wow.
that was a shocker. I was like, wait, what? The chick from Scream in Nashville? She's dead? Really?
And Heroes.
But she was in Heroes, yeah.
Remember
I
the
was like,
Titans?
damn. Oh, she wasn't Remember the Titans?
Yeah, she was a
seen her
little
in a lot of
kid.
Yeah,
stuff.
she was the little girl.
Wow,
Yeah, she
that's
was,
crazy.
Yeah, it's sad. I loved Heroes. I mean, it was a really good show. She was on that, and I watched a little bit of Nashville with a friend of mine, and it was okay. But she was very talented. She could sing. But I was reading that her brother passed away early too, and in her book, she had written about how they would give her amphetamines before she would go out when she was a teenager. When she would go out and do interviews because they wanted her like peppy and excited. So I don't know. She didn't say in the book who was giving them to her, but somebody in that Hollywood machine was giving her drugs. So she would go out and be real excitable and like happy during interviews. So that's not good. I mean, that just chews up those kids. This is unbelievable.
Oh, also, if people don't know this, she was Kairi in Kingdom Hearts. She voiced. She was. I mean, her work. She has some pretty nice work out there. I know she was fucked up. She gave up her daughter when she was like 4. She was getting fucked over by random Hollywood people. Good Lord. Hollywood really does screw with people. Thank God I'm never going to be a part of that. I'm just going to be, obviously, on my own show, putting out quality for the rest of humanity. But no, sadly, she passed away. That sucks. Rest in peace. But it's, damn. God damn it. Like, and keep on, when people say, well, maybe she overdosed or whatever, it's like, was that really the thing? I don't know, because these cases always are opened with a can of worms potentially later in the future. Like, didn't Gene Hackman just die like this year too?
It might have been last year, but he had dementia. But there was another young
Yeah.
actress who died earlier this year.
Oh
And
my
Michelle
God.
Trachtenberg died.
Michelle
recently,
Trachtenberg.
and
Yeah, I've seen her. She was in a lot of stuff. Man,
She was in
crazy.
Buffy.
I mean, some of these child actors are ones that started when they were young. In some cases, maybe they were taken advantage of. At least that's what some people say. But in other cases, I think that it kind of messes with your mind that you're growing up in the spotlight. Because if you're, let's say, a little kid, and suddenly everybody's clapping and telling you that you're the best, you may actually accidentally grow up thinking that that's the way life is, that you're always the best and everybody thinks you're the best. But the problem is, once you get a little older, you're not as cute. You're just an older person. Maybe there's no work for you, no show for you. Suddenly, from that wonderful kid that everybody loved, you're not everybody's walking around and telling you how great you are. So it's kind of like how like after like you crash, after there's a high, you crash. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And they don't know how to recover from that. I think
Yeah.
that the kids that grew up in Hollywood or in this kind of system that are okay today, those are usually the ones that had a really strong support system at home, really had like strong parents that were involved, and maybe
Yeah.
just the right mentality of knowing all the time that they should be sort of humble. As much as I a lot of times kind of have joked about Zendaya in terms of acting, that I think that she doesn't have the range that sometimes these movies put her in. I don't hate her. I will say that most of the time in the interviews, it looks like from a young age she was pretty grounded. Like she's not delusional. Usually in interviews, she speaks very nicely. She doesn't insult fans. She comes off as rather gracious. She doesn't, have this kind of annoying self-entitled thing going on, at least nothing that I've seen until today. And same with Tom Holland, also a guy that usually when they sit down and interview him, seems like a rather humble guy.
He said some weird things, but it's nothing super like bad.
As far as I can tell until today, they both are pretty grounded and they don't overdo it. But and maybe that means that they had the right support system and they also had each other also for a number of years and they're not kind of going off the rails and whatever. But that's an anomaly. Most other cases, and also don't forget, these kids, they're making money suddenly. And when they're kids, they're making money, they're famous. They think to themselves, this is always the way it's going to be. This is what life is. Life is that everybody tells me that I'm the best, gives me a ton of money. I walk around and everybody claps and everybody loves me. That's how they grow up. Imagine at one point, like, you don't have all of that anymore. What do you do?
Yeah, and then she was on a podcast 2 months ago where she was pretty much gave her whole like life story being in the Hollywood machine. There was a very interesting one where she had brought up the fact there was a lady that she trusted, most likely an agent, brought her to a party, and then somehow she ended up in a room with a guy that exposed himself. Now, to be fair, this is the only thing I really hate what she did. She should have just said a name. She should have just said who it was, but people have assumed who it was, but we don't know who it is based off rumors, right? And then she said she was pretty much almost getting like sex trafficked. Like, God damn, man. And keep in mind, she said that was someone she really, really trusted that got her those roles in those big projects that we all know her for. Imagine that, like someone you trusted that much with everything about your career almost got you like sex trafficked. Fuck. Like, how would you trust anyone at that point? Then she had that abusive white guy boyfriend. She gave up her kid. Fucking hell, she was getting roles for a lot of time. Like, god damn. Well, fuck Hollywood, as I always say.
Well, it is a meat grinder. I grew up in the 70s, and throughout the 70s, 80s, 90s, a lot of these child actors on the shows I grew up with just turned like different strokes. All the three kids had a lot of problems that were on that show, and like Danny Bonaducci was in the Partridge Family, had issues, and the oldest daughter that was on a show called Eight Is Enough became addicted to drugs. It's just so, that's just that thing just chews you up. And when Hollywood doesn't have a use for you anymore, they just spit you out and they don't care. And like Price Reason was saying, you get all this attention and then you don't get it anymore and there's a problem. Athletes have that same problem too. You find out a lot of these players that go into the NFL and stuff, and they get all this money and they kind of blow it because they think that gravy train's always going to be there. And then they get hurt or they're not as good as they think they are, and then they're done. They don't have any money and no one's cheering for them anymore, and it leads to problems. So it's just the way society is. They kind of chew you up, spit you out, and when you don't have any more use, you're just done to them. And I feel maybe she was going through some of that. I mean, she did have some things in her career that were doing really well, Hayden Panettiere, but I mean, I don't know what her thought process was, and what she said, if she was, basically somebody exposed her and somebody put her in that situation that she trusted. I mean, even at 36, I mean, that incident happened when she was younger. I mean, that's just terrible. And all those stories you hear, that, Weinstein stuff and this Epstein stuff, it's all, I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire, and they all know about it. They make jokes about it, and they do it at the Oscars, and when they make jokes about all that stuff, they all make these weird faces because they know it's being exposed. It's just terrible.
And as I always say, shout out to Leslie Headland. Oh, God,
Oh, yeah.
Leslie Headland, you did some interesting work out there. All right, so now this portion of the show, we're going to be doing our Lantern Season 1, Episode 1 review with our guest Price of Reason tonight. So this is the third TV show in the DC universe. And I want people to understand when it comes to this. Just watch from this point all the way until we stop reviewing the episode, because that I'm not going to release this as an actual video. You can just watch it here. We'll start with Jared, because I know he ranted about it quite a bit, because I know he hated it. So, yep, I'm just going to be sitting back here with a drink, and I'll just hear what he has to say. We'll start with Jared, then we're going to go to Price, then we'll go to Bob. And I think Joe, I don't think he's watched it yet.
No, but I've read a lot about it, and it annoys me.
I can send you a site that I watched it on where it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. You can just it's on one of those sites, you know, where it's like a bunch of ads pop up. It just, you hit play and it goes, honestly. So you could have asked. What's crazy about me, and considering how smart I am and how much of a genius I am, I should have just gave that to you, you know, because people are like, did you pay for HBO Max? Yeah, sure. I paid for HBO Max. Yeah, my wife paid for it on her cell phone.
Well, I used to get it for free, and when I switch cell phone plans, I don't get it, and I realized why I pay for it. I never really watched it when I had it for free. So.
All right, Jared, what did you think about Lantern Season 1, Episode 1?
All right. So going into this, I legit went into this expecting it to be bad. And I was like, okay, you know what? Let me have low expectations. That way, if it's great, okay, fine. But if it sucks, like I thought it was going to because of the two big creative guys in charge, I won't like be disappointed. So I went on this. I got a little suspicious when Jon Stewart's father is trying to take a handgun and shoot an apple off his kid's head like he's freaking William Tell, but a lot more lethal. Yes, Joe, that happens. And then...
what the fuck?
And they show Hal Jordan, and he's getting shit on constantly by, like, John and, like, the other characters. And I'm like, oh, come on, dude. The flying looks so stupid. Then they commit the sin that I really hate in superhero adaptations. I thought we were beyond that. When he talks about how much he hates the suit, and he goes, you know how, like, when you wear a suit and tie and you want people to respect you, but then when you grow up, you don't really care? Yeah, that's why. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Like, I thought we were done with the whole, oh, we're not going to like to like embrace the superhero suitness of this. That's like Superman saying, I didn't want to wear the suit because I thought it was freaking stupid. So anyway, then they also commit the sin where they're like, well, there can only be one Green Lantern of Earth. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not Green Lantern lore. And people have said, well, that's the way it was in the Silver Age. And I'm like, are we in the Silver Age? No, that's as long as I've been reading comics, that's not been a thing. Even I know it's two. So I'm like, what are you doing? So then the show keeps going. And then it turns into a shitty, like, Yellowstone ripoff where, so Hal conveniently, so we get the scene when Hal has like John in the car and the car goes off the cliff. So John is walking down the road. Then conveniently at that moment, it almost as if it was contrived. It turns out that the way the Green Lanterns work in this universe is that they back up their like consciousness every so often. So Hal had not been doing that. So the AI Hal that like you see in like some of the trailers is like pops up basically because he has a message for Hal Jordan, and I'm like, how does that? Did you schedule the thing to go off now?
Wouldn't he be involved? Wouldn't he know? Because it's an older version of him, so wouldn't he know this?
Yeah, exactly. And he acts like he acts like, hey, if you have the ring and then a hologram of me pops up and has a message for you, that's just tell me it's no big deal. So you have that. So then you get. I do like how they kind of treat him like a celebrity. That's kind of interesting. Then you get to like the fact that so apparently we're in this universe where the aliens look like humans or can shapeshift into humans because they're really trying to save on that CGI budget. It's
Dude,
really
they had budget cuts after Supergirl failed. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's really stupid. And then it's like Hal has this really dumb like interrogation of like this alien. And it just the way he knows he's an alien, MSK or Joe, is like he asked him, where did Harry Potter go to school? Like, you know all the sports stuff, but you don't know about the pop culture. I'm pretty sure there are people that don't know what Harry Potter is, bro. Like, what are you doing? So that's automatically a thing.
And Harry Potter, as you know, is fucking gay as hell. If you watch Harry Potter, you're a loser.
And then they find a group of militiamen that are obviously supposed to be the writer's barely disguised, like, analogy to January 6th. And it's like they do the whole, well, actually, then John has the stupidest line where he goes, everyone's an alien depending on what planet you're standing on. And I'm like, oh, God.
Like, so you're like wondering, how the fuck would a trainee know about that? I mean, I get what he's trying to say.
Then Jon Stewart bangs the grandma. Yes, that happened.
Oh, I'll get to that on my part. I can't wait to. Oh my God.
Yeah, and then it's like, and then you learn. May I spoil the ending, MSK?
Yeah, go ahead.
So the ending. So it takes place 10 years after the show.
We go from 2016 to 2026.
2026. Mm-hmm. In other words, the now when like Superman would be taking place. John drives up this road to like this to essentially the town, but 10 years in the future. It's like winter, it's like frozen over, probably like a disaster happened. You walk up and you see Hal Jordan is frozen dead. That's right. In his first appearance in the DCU, remember those leaks that I got a copyright strike for reporting? Yes, they were true. Hal Jordan died in the first episode. And before anyone tries to like say, well, they could retcon it, or like that's not really Hal Jordan, the writers released a podcast the same day when they said it's Hal Jordan. So that's what I think. And it's like, it's the show that after I watched it, I thought back to when Lindelof got called out for going on that podcast and saying, we called it Lanterns because we thought the green was stupid. I'm starting to think he just wanted to write his own like cop show in like the area. And then it's like he was stuck with Green Lantern because it's not a Green Lantern show.
Do the shut it
Hey, Jared,
down. Do the shut it down. Spin that little hat. Do the shut it down.
Hey, Jared, quick question. That podcast, didn't they also say that that guy Gardner has Hal Jordan's ring?
Yeah, exactly. That's what they did do. And I'm like, what? Also, they're like, this is the other part where it distinctly goes against Green Lantern lore because this was addressed. So not anyone can use the ring. You actually have to be chosen. So him giving the ring to John is not like a thing that would work. Even if it's like, because this happened like years ago when like Oliver Queen tried to use the ring, and it was like super like draining for him because he was trying to force it. So I'm like, so you're telling me that like anyone can use a Green Lantern ring? That's not the way this works.
Nope.
You have to be chosen by the ring, and the way it's chosen is it just shows up and says, "Are you afraid?" Then if you say no, that's it.
Yep.
That's how you get a. I have to say this. I have to say this, MSK. I know that you guys probably know this, but what happens when a ring comes to you, a Green Lantern ring, it says, Jon Stewart, you have the ability to overcome great fear. You have been chosen. Welcome to the Green Lantern Corps. You can reject it, but it doesn't ask you just, are you afraid?
God.
And then it's like, don't even get the part where I was like, this sounds a lot like Tom King and Lindelof is the William Tell reference. And you can see like the bullet holes going up as if the father's been constantly doing this. And I'm like, someone tried to say on Twitter that like, oh, military fathers can be that intense. And one of my viewers is like, I had a military dad. He never shot at us. Even I'm like,
the only thing I liked about it was that he was black. I'm like, well, yes, he was black on black crime. I love it.
So he probably lives on the base. You can't tell me no one's going to hear gunshots going off in the back, and then the MPs are going to show up.
Jared, these are people who don't shower or go outside.
And then when they find out that like he's been shooting guns, he's going to get arrested for child abuse.
Yeah. Just what happens if the child just moved and he get click? But
you're shooting at the kid's head.
I can tell you what would happen, but
No, yeah.
I'm
The
not
thing
going
is,
to.
the reason why I like that scene only is because it was black on black crime. Thank you, Tom King. Thank you. You are now the greatest comic book writer of all time. I love you.
This is the man who
Hello,
had Howard
monkeys.
commit suicide.
Oh God. Yep. Oh God. Love black on black crime. But yeah, okay. Jared's done. Any other thing, Jared? Any quick thought? Any final thoughts?
So I've been getting blasted by people trying to say that I'm prejudging the show, and I'm like, I'm just going off of what was presented and what the creatives have said in their statements, particularly when James Gunn himself said when people die in the DCU, they're dead and they don't come back. So I'm like,
Yep.
okay then.
All right. Price of Reason. Your turn. Your good, bad thoughts about the first episode of Lantern season 1.
I don't really have a lot of good things to say about it. It's another one of those situations. I was talking about J.J. Abrams before, and this is kind of the same, not exactly, but it suffers from a similar problem. It's as if somebody sat around and said, won't it be cool if we'll make True Detective meets Fargo? And it's like, yeah, that's very nice, but you can't always just take something that you think is cool and shove it into another thing that's cool. And I think from the get-go, this idea of this kind of grim Green Lantern doesn't work for me. It worked, I said it the other day, it worked with, let's say, Penguin in the Penguin show, because he doesn't have superpowers. He's just, doing whatever he does. He's a criminal. And as a criminal, we got to see a story. Same with the first Joker movie, not the second one, which was crappy. The first one, he's just a crazy guy. And we kind of like that because it's a comic book character, but they're giving you a grounded approach. Even the Chris Nolan Batman movies, you could argue something like that. But in this case, in Green Lantern, it's not something that you could pretend is grounded. And once it's not grounded, to try to make it like True Detective and that it's Green Lanterns, for me, doesn't work right out the gate. The whole thing seems stupid to me. And in addition, they have their kind of agenda peddling. It's a little subtle. I've seen stuff with more blunt agenda peddling, but there's certainly this feeling of like Hal Jordan is the miserable, drunk, jerk white guy. And they certainly lean into that. And it's another one of those situations that they've taken a character that people liked from the past and just made him that kind of character, that kind of miserable male jerk that they enjoy doing so much. And I personally didn't like it. I didn't think that it worked. If I had to say something good, I think the cast is good. I think that Kyle Chandler is a good actor. I think that I would say I'm not familiar with Aaron Pierre, but he gave me the impression that he's a decent actor. Kelly MacDonald, the one that plays the sheriff, I know her and she is a good actress. So it's not that they didn't bring quality cast or there aren't, maybe there's a shot that I like or something like that. But in general, the thing itself, they're forcing something to try to be something else, and for me, it didn't work. More than anything.
Okay. Anything else you want to say about the first episode of Lantern season 1, episode 1?
I mean, all the stuff that they at the end he's dead and all that shit, and the shooting the kid with the head with the apple, and forget about all that. Why would like a decent looking guy in his 30s wanna bang a grandma in a truck outside when she doesn't even look good? When she doesn't even look good. It's one thing. The only way that there's like a older lady that you're taking to your truck, if you're that guy, if it's Halle Berry. If Halle Berry walks on, she's like, hey, you want to go to your truck?
Dude.
He says, okay. I can say, okay, I get it. I understand why he did it. But unless it's like Halle Berry or somebody that like
Halle Berry's not attractive. What is
Dude.
the size of her?
Bro.
Nah, Halle Berry's
All right,
overrated.
MSK. You're lucky you're
I
not
agree with
across
your
the
sentiment.
country.
I agree with your sentiment. I'm just saying, Halle Berry, she is. God,
you can say whatever you want, but if he sits in a bar and she walks
that's what you're
in,
saying. Yeah.
If he's in a bar and she's like, "Hey, let's go to your truck," I think most guys would be like, "Okay, I'm going to the truck." But this lady was nothing like that. Okay, I don't think. I thought that he wasn't drunk. Really, he wasn't desperate. You know what I mean? It's one thing maybe if they would have shown that for like 5 hours he drank 3 bottles of whiskey and she walks in and she's like, let's go to your truck, and he barely knows what's going on, so he's just going after her. I'd say like, okay, I get it, but I don't know, that for me really took me out of the show.
Hey, I will say this.
And then
though.
the husband was cool with it. Practically.
So weird, yeah.
You know
Well,
what's
remember,
crazy?
that's James Gunn's self-insertion.
I
Yeah.
will say this as a guy who's had sex with all types of different women and
No
been
one
attracted to
believes it.
all different types of women.
No
We've
one
all
believes
had
it.
that moment where we fucked somebody kind of less attractive than us because we just wanted to get a nut out. Everyone's did it. All girls do it too. You know, I'm not. Well, you're sexist. I will say that's not the problem. I'll get to that. But I see your point. It's like you would think, based off how he's talking and how he's speaking, he wouldn't do that. Because when you're watching the episode, you're like, okay, this guy really wouldn't do that, though. He seems like a pretty, like, you know, well put together kind of blue collar guy. He doesn't think he would do that. But hey, if you're a black guy and you got 9 inches like me, you gotta just put it all the way inside a bitch when they're asking. Like, come on, like, you guys feel me? You feel me what I'm saying there? No.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no!
Like it. Okay, but okay. Price is done. Bob, what are your thoughts and opinions, good and bad, for the Lantern
All
season
right.
1, episode 1?
Okay. I didn't hate it,
Avocados from Mexico.
and I didn't like it. Like I really disliked Superman, and I really disliked Supergirl. This I didn't hate. In some ways, I kind of like the tone. The problem, though, is, and this goes back to what everybody's been saying, is that with Green Lantern, it's not supposed to be grounded. So
Yeah.
I like the tone as a show, but it doesn't really fit the characters in the world, especially coming off of Superman, where you got what's his name, freaking Guy Gardner, you know, using the ring to flip people off and stuff like that. It just doesn't go together, the tones, and I even though I like it, like if this was not a Green Lantern show, if this was just random characters, and this kind of goes to what you said, Price, with Superman, that if it was just some random goofy dude, that it might have been better. Like if these had been different characters instead of Green Lanterns, maybe it would have been better. But they are Green Lanterns, and that makes it makes it tough because they're really trying to ground it. So even though I kind of like the tone, it doesn't fit the characters. So it's jarring. And then you've already highlighted some of the issues where creatively some of the choices made just don't make a lot of sense, like what the dad was doing to the kid, playing William Tell, or where you've got Jon Stewart's sleeping with some woman and the guy's totally cool with it, or the husband's totally cool with it. Hal Jordan is yet another cynical superhero that really doesn't want to be a superhero, but at the same time he doesn't want to give up, and or he doesn't want to give up the ring, but you can tell he doesn't really want to be there. And it's like, come on, it's just it's been overdone, and it's tired. Again, I didn't hate this, but and maybe that's because I'm comparing this to Superman and Supergirl, but I don't think it's very good. And I think a lot of these decisions are, I think they're stupid. Like, why would you kill off Hal Jordan in the first episode? If you're going to do it, at least wait until the last episode. But now it's like, I see where people are saying that, oh yeah, well, it's not really Hal Jordan. It's going to be a Manhunter or somebody like that, a shapeshifter. I mean, okay, possibly, but I think that's a cop-out at this point. Personally, though, I think it is Hal Jordan. I think they said that it's Hal Jordan. They clearly wanted Jon Stewart to be the Green Lantern.
They
in
talked
this
about it being
universe.
risk, and they wanted to because they talked about we could have killed Jon Stewart, but we really didn't want to kill Jon Stewart.
Yeah, I saw that. It's like, well, we weren't going to kill him.
Yeah, to me, it was disappointing from that aspect. Again, I didn't hate it, but I wouldn't give this like a high score or a high marks or anything like that. I am willing to watch a few more episodes to see if it gets any better, but I don't think it's going to. Part of it, maybe because I'm still holding out hope that maybe they could pull this together, but Superman was such a disappointment. Supergirl was atrocious. Peacemaker season 2 was awful. And I mean, right now, James Gunn is batting over 3, and then based on the way this started,
Some would say the gun.
4.
Some would
And
say the
Bob-
gun got. Some would say the gun jammed.
No,
Yeah.
actually, MSK, the gun not jammed, it exploded in front of him. By the way, Bob, it's like, as someone that waited 19 issues to see if Tom King's Wonder Woman would improve, I can tell you it doesn't.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to. And like I said, I want to give this a shot, just because maybe I'm hoping holding out hope, but again, I don't think it's going to get any better. And I didn't hate it. I need to point that out again. I did not hate this, but I didn't like it either. I thought it was just meh for me. And
Yeah.
maybe it would have been better. Maybe I would have enjoyed it more if you hadn't tried to ground it. If you had just gone full Space Cops. And maybe they're going to go that way later on in the series, but based on the way this started, I don't see that happening. Maybe they'll show a little bit of off-world stuff, but I don't see that. I think they're going to try to ground this as much as they can. And I think that's going to be detrimental to these characters because, again, the types of characters that they are. I was talking with Laps about this when the last trailer came out, and he was saying that, yeah, I mean, what are you doing? Green Lantern, it's supposed to be Space Cops. I mean, what are you doing here? So, yeah, I just don't get that. And then the final thing is that you can see they're definitely trying to make it edgy by throwing F-bombs left and right. And that worked for the Penguin. That's a gangster show. That works in that. He's, again, our superhero.
It's supposed to.
It's not supposed to.
It's a
you're
gang
not supposed
show
to see them
in
do it.
Gotham.
Not Green Lantern. Maybe the Punisher, yes. But Green Lantern, no. You're not supposed to see that. So, yeah, I was, again, it was meh for me.
Yep. Before I go, Joe, did you want to say anything about what you had heard from other people to kind of conjure up as a general, synopsis of how people feel about it, or yourself?
Well, I came up with my James Gunn bingo card where you put a mark for excessive swearing, the sex scene, deconstructing the hero, other people putting the hero down. So I'm sure all that was in there. Needle drops.
Yeah.
But I think I heard some reporting that they had to cut the budget for this, and one of the reasons why they didn't do the space stuff. But if they're going to do a grounded series, there was a comic book run of Green Lantern, Green Arrow back in the 80s, where Green Lantern and Green Arrow go on a road trip around America to meet normal people and do things, and they run into all kinds of situations. But they played it off with the liberal Oliver Queen Green Arrow and the conservative space cop Green Lantern. And you saw both sides of that political equation, and they'd run into situations that dealt with like civil rights and things like that. They could have done that, but instead they got to deconstruct the hero. They got to make him look like an idiot. They got to have sex scenes. They got to swear. They're going to have the Trump allegory and representation of the MAGA crowd. I'm sure that was in there, and I didn't even see the episode. So, I mean, it's like with Peacemaker season 2, they went to, well, I don't know what they called it, Earth X, but where, the Nazis won World War II. And so they had to throw that out there and make the comment on how, well, our planet's really like a bunch of fascists too, and that's not so different. But so, it's going to have that stuff in there. I don't know. I'll see it sooner or later because I'll probably get HBO Max again and like Black Friday when they offer it for like $5 a month for 6 months or something, and I'll watch. I'll catch up on it. But I don't know. I just the way Green Lantern was acting, it pissed me off. And like some people said, if this wasn't a Green Lantern show, maybe it would be better. But I hate what they're like. That's not Green Lantern. That's not Hal Jordan. The way he's acting. He's acting more like Guy Gardner. If you ever read the 90s stuff with Guy Gardner, where he was real obnoxious and when Batman punched him out and stuff.
And that's what separated them. Like, people back then, when it comes to Green Lantern, what makes them all kind of special is they're all kind of, their personalities are all different, and they all have different ways they look at, like, how they can conjure up things. If they're all the same, then you're not even getting the uniqueness of using the other ones then, But
I heard some reviews that, some people said that because they weren't Green Lantern fans, they enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I don't know. Like I said, I'll probably end up watching it sooner or later, but from the first episode, I know just as a fan of Green Lantern, I mean, I read them back in the 70s. I'll probably get mad because I get mad over dumb things.
I think that's who this is going to appeal more to our non-fans and people who like those HBO Max shows, like True Detective, Game of Thrones, all this stuff that's like what Walter said, that it's meant, their shows are meant to be edgy and whatnot. So those are the people that I think are going to, that this is going to appeal a lot more to. The hardcore fans, though, they're going to have some problems with it.
Yep. All right. So for me, as you guys know, I have read some Green Lantern comic books. I read the Green Lantern Back into Action Volume 1 that came out when the Dawn of DC initiative was a thing before the DC All In initiative and Next Level initiatives are going on right now. And Jeremy Adams, I think did a very, very good job of, characterizing Hal Jordan in that and showing Star Sapphire and Sinestro and all that stuff. And that book was very, very good. And the reason why I always reference that book a lot, not because it was very, very good to read, it was fucking amazing, but those first 6 issues, if you were someone that's never read anything Green Lantern ever, like even if you didn't read the Jeff Johns stuff with creepy fat Ethan Van fuck back in the day, you would get to understand, okay, this is who Hal is from other references, how the characters talk to him, who he is, and how he interacts with people in his world. So I liked that iteration that Jeremy Adams laid out for Hal Jordan, right? So my biggest problem with this first episode, it's like, how do I explain it for people that don't actually review this stuff or look at this stuff with a critical eye? Have you ever watched a movie or a TV show where you felt like they were building something only to kind of realize it's all kind of really fake? And not in what they're building as far as like the show. What I'm saying is it kind of feels like they're building like some really fake, odd tension there. Like specifically, I know people are going to think it's a joke. The sex scene. Oh my God. Okay, so that must have been the worst sex scene I have seen in movies ever. I thought the Eternals one was bad, where he like literally one stroked in her and she like moaned.
With this one, they're all dressed, right?
Yeah. Whoa. I'm the sex god. I get to tell people how this works. First of all, that is not how people have sex, right? So when you have sex, you take your clothes off, right? So this lady is moaning, fully clothed. She's clearly, you could tell when they're filming this, she's just clearly bouncing on his crotch. They're not actually having sex. And they're trying to build some sexual tension between them. And it was so cringe, so forced. And then you find out that's that lady that he bangs in his car is married to like one of the other guys we're going to talk about later on, right? And then he knows about it. To be completely fair, he might do something to him later on in the show about it. But as it stands right now with just the first episode we watched, he does nothing about it because that's what they want to show you. This is the thing that I'm talking about a lot when it comes to the dudes in these shows. Holy mother of fuck. If you're a guy and you just found out your wife slept with not just guy, a black guy, a fucking black guy of all things in this world, you be okay with that. I'm so sick of dudes being cucked like that. He just found out his wife had sex with an animal.
Hello, monkeys.
But remember again,
right,
this
cool.
isn't James Gunn's universe.
I'm just pointing out, he was like, all right, cool boy, I'm gonna leave you. What a horrible attempt at building tension. That was terrible. And then the kid, that was his grandma, right? Because his mom is the sheriff lady and the other guy's divorced from her, right? And you're like, whoa. That was your tension? He just bangs a girl in his car. You find out she's the grandma of the sheriff lady. And that was her death. Was that supposed to be an attempt at building tension? Please tell me that was an attempt, right? That was horrible.
Here's the problem with the casting, because the guy who she's married to is supposed to be the father of the lawyer that bails Hal Jordan out. He's too young to be the dude's father.
Oh, also to bring up in the show, so Hal Jordan. So before you get on that, the sex scene was terrible. The absolute way they built that tension was awful. Man, I've seen better stuff in CW shows, how they build tension with characters that fuck each other, that are relationships. God damn, that was terrible. Oh my Lord. Hal Jordan, okay? I didn't really feel like he was acting like Hal Jordan, though. Honestly, I felt like he was acting like Kyle Rayner, honestly. Right? I didn't really feel like he was really acting like Hal Jordan at all. Like, I'm trying to sit here and watch this, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, I know he's not acting bad. Like, he's not actually acting horrible. He's actually acting pretty good. But I'm not convinced that's Hal Jordan, though. You know, like when you're watching, when people say that, like, Man of Steel and the Dark Knight movies are not like Superman and Batman movies, that's the feeling that I got from this. I don't have any type of feeling that he is Hal Jordan at all. I just don't feel it. It's like when Millie Alcock was trying to be Supergirl, I just didn't feel it. Like, nothing about her performance gave me that is Hal Jordan, like that's Supergirl. The other thing, also in the show was I don't feel like there was anything super meaningful here that really keeps honestly anyone watching, unless you just like watching this stuff. Yeah, we're gonna watch the episodes. Yeah, we're gonna review them. I'm gonna watch them, obviously. But it was like I didn't truly despise it. I didn't really like it. I was kind of in the Bob camp. I thought it was just kind of just meh. They just awful at building tension. It wasn't that it was paced really bad. It flowed pretty fast. It was going at a pretty reasonable pace, but there wasn't really any like I'll be able to understand. A big reason why a lot of people like a lot of the past superhero stuff we got is because there's moments in it where you truly get to feel like that character is that character, right? Nothing in this episode, which is the first coming out party for a character like Green Lantern, who's not really had anything on the big screen in a very long time. You should show people in the episode why he's Hal Jordan, like him saving people. Maybe you show him getting his powers, right? Nothing. I'm not saying it's not going to happen later in the season. I'm prefacing it. We've only had one episode. But in the first episode, you should give people a reason why this is Hal Jordan. And they kind of do, sort of. I do like that they liked him. That's something that's welcoming sometimes, because as you guys know with superhero media, sometimes they always have like the fans in the crowd in the movie that they cast did not like the guy. It was kind of cool that they liked him. That's fair. They treat him like a celebrity. I feel like that's fine. But you never really get a chance to see like, okay, what's the moment that made him Green Lantern for people? What's the reason why they like this guy? You know, nothing. It's just kind of nothing. Also, it's weird how they want Jon Stewart to be Green Lantern, but in the moment you're supposed to see him become Green Lantern and show up and conjure up a construct, they don't do it. He's like, well, I just made bubble wrap around me. Gonna show that?
Yeah, they should have shown that.
Yeah, like and obviously, as we know, because Man of Tomorrow is coming out, he's in Man of Tomorrow. We know he was going to be the Green Lantern for this universe. Okay, fine, that's fine. But keep in mind, I will make sure I preference this. They didn't show his ring when he was dead. He probably is dead. And keep in mind, the guys literally said that the fans are going to hate us. I'm going to be completely honest here. I'm going to do the Andrew Wilson
said he's
thing.
dead. He's dead.
Yeah, I'm going to do the Andrew Wilson thing. Like when he said to Candace Owens on that debate, I'm like 85% sure he's dead. But I'll give you guys a little bit of like a nice 10% he might be still alive. But even so, let's play it out both ways. Let's just say for argument's sake he is still alive. That means they just pretty much cucked the biggest Green Lantern of all time. Mm-hmm. Why have him in the show? If that's the goal, why have him in the show at all? Like, now I argue, why is he in the show if he was just only going to be in the first episode and the last episode? Now, in this episode, they've established that he can kind of be around as a conscious thing based off something he did with the ring. So to be fair, he can come out. I don't know how the cast is listed right now, how many episodes he's supposed to be in, because this season is only, I think it's like 8 episodes, right? It's 8 episodes.
I have a feeling he's going to be in every episode. I think what they're going to do
in that way that
I think what they're going to do is I think they're going to show the past storyline and the future storyline together and show kind of how they intertwine.
Guess what? He's in all but one episode.
Yeah, so either he's in flashbacks or he's involved in the way that we just saw, where he can conjure up his conscience and put it into the ring.
They'll just from time to time roll him out as a hologram, and that'll be it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and then I would actually argue, if he's only going to be a hologram in flashbacks, why the fuck did they just waste Hal Jordan, the biggest known Green Lantern, the one that everyone likes,
the one that's known as in universe as the greatest Green Lantern?
Yeah. I don't get it. Keep in mind, like, okay, the black guy thing. Oh my lord! First part of the episode, his dad shoots him on the forehead to knock out an apple, and he says, "Are you afraid?"
Yeah.
If he's not, the kid's got a problem.
That kid's got balls of steel. Because if I was a kid and that ever happened to me, I'm fucking moving. I'm like, deuces, goodbye, fuck you, bitch. But like, this is why I always say black people have an issue and lock them all up.
Hello, monkeys.
Oh God! But no, like that was just dumb. That was just stupid. I guess this team was meant to establish he has no fear. Okay, you couldn't have established that any other way. You could have established that any other way. It just had to look like that. I don't get it. Yeah, the stuff with the whole alien and the mystery and the shooting, it just didn't really enthrall me. I feel like a big reason why I thought it was just super mess, because I'm thinking of the Green Lantern. I'm thinking like mythological space, all people like what's the guy's name? Kilowog. There's Oa, and there's the Guardians, and there's the place that they go to, right?
Omar Ray and all that.
I'm just not getting the feeling. Like, literally, if this was probably any other like serious crime character in their universe, I feel like this would have come off pretty well. But the fact that it's Green Lantern is just not, because this is not like the right tone for a Green Lantern show. I'm sorry, like the Superman tone, not the movie itself, but the tone that James Gunn used should be used for this. That's what the tone you should go for. The tone is not bad itself. It's just on the wrong characters, right? Like the acting is fine. I feel like the acting was fine. Nothing was really wrong with it. It's just, I just don't feel lanterns from this. I just don't feel like this is an actual superhero thing based off the characters they're using. So yeah, I mean, we're going to watch the rest of the episodes and review them here, but it was just all right. I mean, I always say this as a prerequisite. I hope it gets better. I hope it gets better. I always do. I always hope these things get better. Now, will they?
I don't.
Will they? No.
Do the shut it down. Do the shut it down.
Oh God! Right when he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna shoot my kid. I'm basically gonna do target practice on my little black kid."
Which, by the way, again, the MPs would show up and go, "Why are you shooting guns at your kids, bro?"
Something that no one called the police after hearing a gunshot at like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
There's police calls way less.
What probably is a military base.
Oh God. But yeah, just not a really good showing for the first episode. I don't really give ratings like that, but unless we finish, like, let's finish the product out. But if you're a casual, you're probably gonna like it. If you're someone who's enthralled with these HBO Max shows, you probably liked it. I'm not saying you're not allowed to. Just because we here didn't really like it as much, or we thought we were mad, doesn't mean you're not allowed to like it. You can like whatever you like. You guys like fucking, I don't know, Harry Potter and that stuff's just fucking gay as fuck. You're allowed to like whatever you want. I think this is just rather meh. And keep in mind, there's 7 more episodes left, and Hal Jordan's already potentially dead, and they wasted him, and I have no idea why, because you could literally, if he's not in the show and you put in another person there, does it really change how this really plays out? Who knows? But I don't feel like you should be wasting big characters like this. And people wonder why this universe, doesn't really have people that like it. Like the biggest Green Lantern is potentially wasted and never going to be used ever again because, just fucking reasons, right? But hey, Aaron Pierre, black guy, got a chance to fuck a MILF. And I a lot of sex in my life. I've blew a lot of girls' backs out and broken down their walls before. That's not how you have sex. And he doesn't moan. They don't moan or nothing. They don't even act like they have sex. Like, really?
Oh, and you forgot the best part when he lights her, when he gives her a light
with his cigarette. Yep, he just nutted all the way inside of her.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
And he's like, I want a cigarette. Do girls smoke after they have sex like that? I always see that in movies. Is that an actual thing? Bob, in your day, after you blew a girl's back out, did they just want to have some smokes?
Well, if you're with somebody that smokes.
Oh, God. Yeah, after I just rolled some BBC, time to just, get some smokes. And come on, she wasn't attracted. But to be fair, I've said it before, guys will kind of just fuck things just to fuck them, like girls, and then just, it won't matter. Like, I've seen that in life too much. Me, I have standards for the women that I have sex with because, I'm just a sex god at this point. But
no, he just has a standard for which hand he uses.
Oh my God. So yeah, rather just meh on it. Hopefully it gets better. I mean, we did see a tease of Sinestro.
That's just the dude painted or stuff, and likely we won't see it with an actual ring or anything like that.
What if he doesn't even have the accent that Sinestro usually has, and he just talks like some regular dude? Oh God, that's gonna be terrible. Oh, I'm just dreading it right now. People, and I know there's all these people that have said these certain things of like, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen. How many times have we said that when it comes to those Disney Plus MCU TV shows? Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna happen. Never happened.
But again, MSK, I want to bring this up again. How many times in the DCU have we heard, oh, they'll retcon it, they'll explain it with the Superman stuff? And I'm like, did they? They doubled down on it.
They're going to double down on this as well. This is, I don't think that they're going to suddenly redeem him. And whatever they do, they made a show about Green Lanterns and they made Hal Jordan look bad. And it's exactly what everybody anticipated it would be. Maybe even worse somehow.
Yeah. I mean, like I don't know. People have said, why would a woman that's married to a guy that's successful go and bang dudes at a bar? Guys, literally, Tom Brady got cheated on. You could be the most successful guy on this planet. Yeah, that's not immune to that. I like how Tom King, David Lynn, you did a good job on that part. You show that women aren't shit. You could literally give them everything, and they'll still go to random bars and fuck black guys. Not gonna lie, that's the only thing that's truthful about what they did. Everything else is bad. I'm just saying, why would she need to go and fuck a random black guy if her husband gives her everything? Look, you know the house they lived in? That ain't cheap. Texas? That ain't fucking cheap.
Well, maybe it'll be suggested that that's kind of his thing. He sends her out to do this.
Could be. You're right. Or he just likes getting cucked. You know,
like the James
right?
Gunn.
And also James Gunn seems to like it. It fits with the creators. You know what I mean? Allegedly.
Allegedly,
he did the James Gunn. He James Gunned.
Oh my god, the gun jammed, as they say. But yeah, like that sheriff lady. Are you like? Okay, if you're gonna be, we usually see these kind of characters on all these TV shows. Usually have that sheriff. I didn't care for her. I didn't care if she exists at all. Literally, if she just like got shot and killed, I wouldn't even give a flying fuck if she existed. Like, she's probably the only actor that I saw in the first episode. I was like, this is Lily trying. She's trying to convince us she's a serious sheriff, because that wasn't happening. But yeah, we'll see how it all turns out. All right, so last thing we'll cover here before we head out in a little bit is we got the cast announced for the MCU X-Men movie coming out in 2028. Me and Savage Dad already did a video about it, but I'm just going to go around and see what you guys thought about most of the casting. I think a big problem I had with it was they casted the Indy Navarrete chick as Rogue. I personally think that's an awful casting. Did not look like Rogue. Doesn't even sound or act like Rogue if you've seen her in anything besides Obsession. Doesn't even give me a feeling that she's Rogue. Like a girl like Rogue would talk like, "Hey, yo, sugar, I'm gonna come suck your dick and give you some fried apple pie on the side."
Never say that to you. First off,
girls have always said that to me. I just all the other casting is fine. She is such a miscast as Rogue. That's awful. I just don't see her as Rogue. She has to really convince me she could be Rogue. She's not physically fit. Doesn't look like her. Doesn't even act like her in her movies. Or no, doesn't act like. Sorry, doesn't. I don't get the feeling that she can act like Rogue from seeing her in other stuff. I just don't see it. I think that's an awful casting, but everything else is fine. I'm fine with the other castings. At least Cyclops is not a black dude fighting against racism and oppression. Also, I'm also glad they didn't cast fucking Denzel Washington to play Magneto. Please, thank God.
But I will say the casting for Emma Frost.
Yeah, good.
Spot on. Everyone else, you know what? Pretty spot on. I'm actually impressed.
Wait a minute. Because there were rumors they were gonna have Giancarlo Esposito play Magneto or.
That wouldn't have been bad though. But he already played Sidewinder.
Could you imagine
Sidewinder from Captain America?
Trying to forget about that.
Could you imagine a black Jewish Holocaust survivor playing Magneto? Oh, I don't know if that would really come off the best way. But yeah, outside of the Indy Navarrete casting, I thought the casting was fine.
And the hilarious part is like if you follow Samara Weaving, it's like the woman acts like Emma Frost. She talks like her, and it's like she posted a photo on Instagram after she got fully announced as casting. This could be performative, but you know what? It's so something Emma would do of her reading Emma Frost comics in a bikini. And I'm like, that is what Emma would do.
Yeah, I've seen her. So I first saw her in the Babysitter movie.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't really want to be in the sequel, but she is in there. She was in Mayhem. She was in the Ready or Not movies. I think she's a great actress. I'm so glad she got it. She's amazing. I like her acting a lot. I think she has that. Because Emma Frost, you need that kind of like seductive.
And you need the attitude and stuff.
Yeah,
so like you need the whole "I'm judging you" to your face, and she has that in spades.
So the other thing I will add is that I don't know if the rest of the cast has been revealed for the MCU X-Men movie, because we know they wanted to use the original team. The original team is Beast, Angel, Cyclops, Jean Grey. You also have Angel in that as well.
Iceman.
And Iceman, right? Well, Iceman's probably not getting used because he sucks cock. After eating vagina for like the last 60 years, he's like, you know what? I'm just going to start deep throat. So Beast and Angel might be in the movie. They might still be casting them. I don't know. Or they might be a secret. But it's weird how they say they wanted the original team and you only have 3 members of the original team, because Rogue's not an original member. Neither is Storm. But I get the idea. They want to use heavy hitters, not Wolverine. We already knew they were going to have Wolverine. Like a lot of interviews that happened for the movie where they basically said like, yeah, Wolverine's not going to be in the movie. They've said this for years when they get the MCU X-Men movie rolling. So who can you use outside of Wolverine that can be a big deal? Rogue and Storm, okay, it makes sense why they be there. It's just, well, they're not. It's just weird how they said we're going to use original members, but we're going to have Rogue and Storm. Rogue and Storm come from Giant Size X-Men when Chris Claremont took over the run.
Actually, Rogue does not. But you know why Rogue and Storm are on the team? MSK. What
nice
animated
assets.
Show is popular?
Oh, you're right. X-Men 97.
That's why.
Yeah, that's the only reason why. You know. Price. What did you think about the? Go, Jared. What do you want to say?
One thing I am happy for. I'm happy that they're not having Wolverine supposedly, because you know what? That is kind of a problem where like X-Men tend to rely too much on Wolverine. They're letting the other characters shine.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of quotes throughout the years about this movie coming up that they weren't going to use Wolverine. When people say, "Where's Wolverine?" I already knew they weren't going to use him. They've been talking about not using him in this movie for like literally since like Disney bought Fox years ago. You know, Price, what did you think about the casting for X-Men, for the MCU X-Men movie coming out in a few years?
Well, I mean, I think that a lot of the roles seem somewhat decently cast. I don't know if it's better than what we had in the past necessarily, but wasn't terrible. The one that I wasn't as excited about personally that people were, they're like, the Storm they chose is more comic book accurate. But for me, I don't know, you were saying before you don't like Halle Berry, but for me, Halle Berry, like, it's kind of a downgrade, whoever they cast now as Storm. I don't know. I really wanted somebody, on a higher level.
Price, just say you like chocolate. You love your black women, don't you? You love your black sisters or something?
In Halle Berry's case, I think she looks really good. And
my God.
Even though actually she is in like comic accurate Storm.
I don't give a shit.
All right, there you go.
Me neither.
That's fair. That's fair.
Halle Berry can be in any movie she wants.
Right.
You guys
That's
gotta
what I'm
stop
saying.
Black women don't need you. We need to distance ourselves from black women. Leave them alone. But no. Also the Storm. Did you like the Indy Navarrete casting as Rogue?
I thought it was fine. I thought she was good in that Obsession movie. I don't dislike her. I think she'll probably be okay. I don't have any issue with her being Rogue.
Okay. Adam Driver being in it as Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be okay.
Okay. What else is there? Okay, that's it. Bob, what did you think about the X-Men casting?
Yeah, for the cast, I'm pretty happy with it. For them, I don't think there's anybody that they cast that I've had any issues with. I do like Adam Driver as Mr. Sinister, Professor X, Cyclops. I think are well cast. All the ladies, I think, are good. I also like Indy Navarrete as Rogue. Dye her hair red and give her and let her act like she's got a southern accent. I thought she was great in Obsession. She's good in Superman and Lois. You know what? Give her a shot.
She gotta put on some weight, dude. I need to see some jiggle physics.
But here's the thing. Anna Paquin didn't really exactly scream Rogue either, and
she's also not Rogue too.
Yeah, so it could be that they're going more along those lines again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They don't have Jubilee yet. I think Jubilee will come into play when Wolverine is introduced later on. Actually, with Jubilee never been done on the big screen yet. But yeah, Joe, what did you think about the X-Men casting that was announced this past weekend?
I thought it was good. The Weaving, actor that they cast as Emma Frost looks great. I just wonder if they're going to let her look great in the movie. Knowing Marvel, they might dress her up in a garbage bag, and and then you won't be able to see her because
and Emma's the character you can't do that with.
But I like Indy Navarrete. I think she could do a fine job. I don't have a problem with any of them other than what's her name? Kit Connor, who was Cyclops. Hopefully he works out because Cyclops, when he first starts, they used to call him Slim Summers because he was tall and thin. But as through the 80s came on and he got older, when when the X-Men got a little older and they took the younger ones under his wing, he grew up, became a man, and he was kind of jacked. So hopefully he does, because he looks kind of paunchy, and he kind of reminds me of the guy that had played Reed Richards in that terrible Fantastic Four movie in 2015. His name slips me. He was in the I think he was in Top Gun Maverick too. But he was
Miles Teller.
Yeah, Miles Teller. He looked kind of doughy. So I don't know. That's the one thing I didn't think looked like the guy too much, but obviously you can work out. I mean, when they cast Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, he had a beer gut and he didn't look that great, and Tom Holland wasn't really ripped, and they put him through the training. So hopefully they do. I don't know. I think it's pretty good. I don't know. They started this whole thing off with Sadie Sink as Jean Grey, and they kind of made her a villain. And so hopefully there's some kind of redemption for her in these movies. If they just come in and say, well, you killed people.
Everything you did was okay. Yeah. And it's crazy.
Trauma,
when people bring that up. It's like, well, but she didn't kill anyone. Yeah, because intending to kill someone is also just as good. It's like, fucking hell.
Because you weren't successful at what you wanted to, at your attempted murder.
People are dudes are so cucked. I hate dudes these days. Good Lord.
I get that, but we'll see what they do with it. I don't know. And I guess because the Avengers kind of played out, I guess the X-Men's going to be the focal point of the MCU, which I think will be good, but they're going to have to make good movies. And for some reason, I thought they cast Beast, but they just didn't announce it. But it could be something I heard. I don't know. I heard a lot of things.
I think they will, because if you look at the team, you got, well, at least for the field team, you've got Cyclops, but then you've got Jean Grey, you got Storm, and you got Rogue. There's
Emma.
And
I think she's a villain in the movie. I think she's going to take a villain role. Is what I'm thinking. Anyway. So you're going to need at least a couple more males in there.
Yeah, I think Beast is coming, and then maybe Iceman, maybe Angel. So they'll get a few more, and then we'll see. But I like Adam Driver as Mr. Sinister. I think that's a good casting.
And what's hilarious, if you watch the other X-Men movies, you realize how many times they set up Sinister, but they never did it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
all the time. The Essex House was mentioned, even in Deadpool. I'm like, because we're watching through all the X-Men movies on my channel, and I'm like, man, they really kept bringing up Sinister.
This was earlier. I know you guys watched X-Men 97, and I don't know if you watched season 2. Did you guys like season 2? Because Walter had brought up it was flopping pretty hard on Disney+.
Clearly, like they were setting up another villain. According to Bo, at least, they were clearly trying to set something up, but then they changed like his plan earlier. I hate what they did to Emma Frost. By the way, for those that don't know, Emma Frost is my favorite X-Men. So obviously, when they make it so she's giving mutants to the government in exchange for amnesty, I'm a little pissed off at that.
All right. Walter says 2 questions. Did you guys talk about the new Avengers trailers? Did you hear about the 2 Doctor Doom series? So I will say this. Yes, there was a second Doomsday butthole that came out with the butt plot. I'm joking, guys. I'm literally joking. So there was another Avengers Doomsday trailer that dropped. I thought it was a lot better than the first one. Now I will also make sure I say this as a prerequisite. I know there are leaks out there detailing everything that happens in the movie. I always say this when it comes to leaks. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. It's like when Alex Jones predicted that 9/11 was going to happen. People only remember when you were right, but they don't really remember all the times you were wrong too. Keep in mind, those leaks have been more right recently, so who knows? They could be right. I just kind of choose to experience these things when I watch them on the big screen. I don't really know what's the enjoyment out of a movie. Read all that stuff and spoil everything for yourself. I don't see any value in doing that. But if you do, that's fine. But I didn't mind the second trailer. I felt like it was a lot more better at portraying how much dangerous Doom is actually. He's conjuring up the Sentinels, using them. You're getting a lot more feeling of how serious it was, because it felt like the first trailer kind of teased it like, oh, this is like a reunion. No, the second trailer was a lot better at conjuring. This is a damn near a serious threat here. He's not a weakling. So we'll see how it goes. But like I said before, if anything we've heard has going to be definitely happening in the movie, there's going to be some interesting questions afterwards coming out about it. But I don't know. Leaks can always be wrong in most aspects.
Yeah, too, I'm like you. I liked the second trailer a lot better.
Yeah, and the first one wasn't bad. It just felt like if you wanted to make the first trailer hit, you need to have like an original Avenger or like Nick Fury or Samuel Jackson do that voiceover thing. But when you have this thing in the second trailer, because I'm going to pop it up now because I need to.
Well, on that trailer, the second trailer was better, but that they had Sue talk about Victor and how he used to be different and things. I'm just wondering if they're going to try to connect Victor Von Doom to Tony Stark of their universe, or they're just not going to do any connection at all. And I think the problem is either way, if they try to connect Victor and Tony, it's going to come off weak. But if they don't, the whole time you're just going to be thinking about him as Iron Man or as Tony Stark. I think casting him as Doom might end up being a mistake, but we'll see. We'll see how they try to pull it off, but we'll see.
Price, did you like or dislike the new Avengers trailer for Doomsday that came out?
I think that in comparison to all the other trailers we saw until now, that was probably the only trailer that seemed decent. The problem is that with all the leaks that we've heard and the previous trailers we've seen, I suspect that this movie isn't going to be very good. I don't want it to be bad, but I don't have a great feeling about it. And I think that they're pouring a lot of money into it, and they're trying everything they can to try to bring the people back. But without the kind of setup that the original Endgame had, I don't think that these movies are going to have the same impact. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, I said the same thing too. It's one of these things where, like, the movie setup was pretty much the end credit scene of Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four's last scene, but like that's just not enough though. Like that's minuscule compared to like all the setup that the other ones had. But in a trailer, like I can say before, it was definitely the best one we've had so far. But like I said before, people understand when you start breaking down Infinity War and Endgame, there's some definite problems with those movies. I think this one will be similar to how those are viewed. I'll be honest, I think both Doomsday and Secret Wars, by the time we see them, and by the time a few years pass, they'll be seen as the same things as the other ones, where like the spectacle is really good about them. They're gonna have really, really great moments, really awesome moments where you get that like superhero tingly feeling in your butt, in your stomach. And then there's moments where you're gonna go, wow, this is actually just fucking stupid. Like I'm still trying to wonder in Endgame how they killed fucking Nebula in the future, or they killed the past Nebula and some of the future Nebula was still alive. I'm still wondering how the fuck that happened. That never got explained ever, but I think that's how
they tried to explain it early on by saying that what you do in the past doesn't really change the future because
it already happened.
Yeah. But even though that wouldn't make any sense because your past is how you got to that future, it's like, all right.
No,
okay.
you're thinking like Back to the Future. You're not supposed to be thinking like
that.
Yeah. Remember, that's what they said in the movie.
I will say Pedro Pascal actually did some acting in the trailer. Finally, it only took him.
That was the best in that 1 second. It's like the best performance he's given in this role. That whole movie with him, he was awful. He was awful in that movie.
Yeah, I agree. Oh my god, like it literally Fantastic Four, because I didn't hate that movie. I thought it was fine. Literally, he is just not Reed Richards. Like, we were speaking earlier about the guy who's playing Hal Jordan is not like Hal Jordan. He is not Reed Richards. I'm sorry, I don't get any Reed Richards feelings from that guy. He just looks like some gay weirdo fucking hell. So yeah, I mean, hey, I'm excited for Doomsday to come out. It's nice that people are kind of excited for it. I'm hyped to see what they're gonna do, but like I said before, Infinity War and Endgame aren't that well written, and those are from the same people. I'm not going in expecting some well-written movie. I'm going in expecting some really hype moments and some really weird, not cringy, I'll say weirdly odd story choices they're going to make. That's what I'm expecting.
Well, the script wasn't even done when they started it. I mean, they said they were working on it as they went. I mean, there's actors who are filming their scenes. They don't even know who they're acting against. So they're just going to piece it all together. I'm sure it can be a spectacle, but as far as being a great movie, I don't know. It might be a lot of fun and be exciting and get people excited for the next one. But
sounds like Endgame. Yep. That's what the Avengers movies really are, though. Yeah. Yeah.
The reason why I'm a little bit more hopeful about it is that it is the Russo brothers, and as far as I am concerned, in my opinion, they haven't made a bad Marvel movie. They made some that are like, okay, but they've never made one where I'm like, well, that sucked.
I will say it's better that they're doing it than some random motherfucker that we don't know about. It's okay. What based off the last two Avengers movies, you kind of know what experience.
Who was actually supposed to direct this, MSK? The guy who directed Spider-Man Brand New Day and Shang-Chi.
Good Lord.
We dodged a bullet, my friend.
Because he can't write villains to save his damn life. That guy can't write a villain at all. Good Lord. Matt Doom would have probably murdered the whole universe, and then one Avenger would go, you did a good job there. What? Fuck.
He had trauma, MSK.
He had trauma, so he just must have blown up a whole planet, actually. You know, I'm just saying, Jean Grey's characterization in Brand New Day sucks. I'm standing by my opinion. She's an utter piece of human shit. I still want to this is gonna be a soundbite when I get a clip out of this right now. Can someone tell me what made Jean go from being like this kind of sweet, innocent girl who lost her sister to fucking with people? Because she intentionally just fucks with people until she finds out her sister is actually dead. She intentionally did these things. People can say she was hunted. Huh. I didn't know being hunted meant you had to fuck with other people's lives constantly. I didn't know that. I didn't know you being hunted meant you had to kind of control MJ's brain and made her S.A. Peter through her. You know, fuck me, right? Fuck me. Just fuck me, right? So, yeah, no, fuck her. That's a horrible characterization of Jean Grey. I'm sorry. Just a terrible iteration because, okay, X-Men Last Stand. I know you haven't seen the movie. There is no, you're telling me that X-Men Last Stand did a better interpretation of that character than her? When X-Men Last Stand came out, the first part of the movie, that little girl's not going and murdering people. She's just sitting in her house, misunderstood because she doesn't know how to deal with what's inside of her. She was younger than that girl. She was way younger. The Jean Grey used in that movie was way younger than the one we have in Brand New Day, and she didn't fuck with people. She didn't kill her parents. She didn't do anything wrong. What are we doing here? And she's not even a Spider-Man villain for that logic. She's not a Spider-Man villain, and for some reason, people think she's this morally complex character. No, she's not. Her sister was killed. Not her fault. No one's saying it was. The main villains did it. I'm not disagreeing with that. My point is, why did she intentionally fuck with other people when she didn't even know her sister was dead? She didn't know her sister was dead and she was just fucking with people. What purpose was her to fuck with that grandma that had her run through the fucking city in that tank? There's no purpose for that.
She literally just walked up to the building and then started doing her thing when she got up to the building.
Yeah.
She didn't have to do everything.
She could have went to that danger building and started hopping into people's minds to get to the top. She quite literally could have did that, right? And I'm not saying that you need to highly break down all these superhero movies because a lot of them have very flimsy plots and they always kind of end up that way. I'm not saying that the movie is actually bad. It's fun and enjoyable, but just the Jean Grey stuff is so unbelievably bad. Really, she had to make that guy hit himself with a car to scare Peter. What'd that guy do to her? He didn't do anything. So understand why she possessed Zendaya's mind as Mary Jane and S.A. Peter through that. Oh my, literally, if Loki had did that, imagine if Loki shapeshifted to be Tom Holland and he kissed Zendaya and then it comes out of this him. Would people have the same reaction if Loki did that? No, probably think he's a piece of shit. Yeah, what do you think about her? She gets one more chance for me in the next movie, and if she's not a decent character, I'm writing her off. I want her there to beat her down with what she did. I want them to let her know she's a piece of shit. She gets one more chance, I'm out of her character. That's a horrible characterization of her. Come on, that's not Jean Grey. That's some weird bitch who's got depression. You know what's crazy? The same people defending her are defending that one lady recently that just murdered her 3 kids. That's the same people who are defending her. Same people, same logic, same everything. There's a lady who was on antidepressants that murdered her 3 kids because she strangled them. She allegedly right now, people saying the husband did it. I don't believe he did, but they're saying she strangled them. Same art. Oh, it's not her fault. She had depression. Oh, she had depression. That's why she had to jump in some guy's mind and have him almost kill himself. But she didn't kill anyone, MSK. She didn't kill anyone. Oh, but intending to do it is just as good. Holy fuck. You people out there are so retarded. I'm sad I have to live on this planet.
Did you see there is a guy, he tweeted out in Mahler from his channel. He talked about it. The guy said that when that worker that she had step in traffic, she read his mind and knew he was a bad person. So that's why she did it. Like what? Like there was no that's ultimate cope. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. But what's got me about this Avengers movie, the second trailer here, or the third, whichever one it is better because that first trailer, you just see a bunch of characters and a lot of people don't care about these people. Like the Thunderbolt, new Avengers. Does anybody care? I mean,
did you see the reactions from when they premiered the trailers at those crowds? You know how people cheer when the characters come? Nobody cheers when Shuri's shows up. No one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
Or Shang-Chi or any other
and Namor it's just there. You got they put Yelena in with Spider-Man just so people would recognize her. and she was bad in that movie. I didn't like her Harvey Weinstein thing. Hey, get naked and get in the tub with me. It's like, okay. But
he didn't have sex with her. Like, it'd be cool if, okay, blow her back out then. She's you're a small potato. Oh no, girl, I have a big, fat, long, juicy potato you can put in your mouth, bitch. That's what he should be telling her. He should be putting them all up in her walls, but no, he's just a fucking loser like that. That's our Spider-Man. And people told me, hey, he's always had spider sense, MSK. You didn't watch the movie. He's never officially had spider sense in these movies until the last one? He kind of barely had it and it wasn't really even established he kind of had it. It was very much honed in this movie that his spider sense is truly activating the way that a lot of people think it should. I have these comments from actual retards. Someone said, I didn't watch the movie. Huh, crazy. I didn't watch the movie, but I put out a whole review with other people where we're breaking down things that happened in the movie. I don't watch the movie, obviously. What in the fuck? Someone said that Captain America, Sam Wilson, was a good guy because he was helping protect the freedom fighters. What planet are we on anymore? He called terrorists freedom fighters.
Oh, I saw that. We were engaging with that guy on Twitter.
Oh, God. Freedom fighters. Good Lord. It can't get any worse, right, Price? Talking to a black guy at 11 o'clock your time?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's just saying. I don't know how you felt about Brand New Day. I haven't got a chance to watch your review yet, but did you like the characterization of Jean Grey by any chance?
No, I think that I think in my review at that point, I didn't want to spoil every detail, but I did explain some issues I had with the movie. And a lot of them, what I said was there's a lot of issues with the movie, but to its credit, there's some fun in it too. So
right.
I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was spectacular. I didn't go out saying, oh, this is a 10 out of 10 movie. I said it's a movie that if you really stop to think about it, has a lot of issues with the story, but there's enough fun in there with Spider-Man, which is a character I like, that you could kind of just let it slide if you don't think about it too much. But the second the movie ends and you start thinking about it, it does kind of bother you. I didn't have a bad time, and it's not a bad movie. Like, it's not terrible, but the screenplay does have issues for sure.
Yeah, No Way Home was better. I'm sorry, No Way Home was with
I
the writing.
I said that in my review. Don't get me wrong. No Way Home, if you stop to think about it, has issues too. But having all three Spider-Man and the villains and whatever, it was just such a blast to see it that I felt that No Way Home was more exciting for me. Brand New Day had some scenes that I liked. I like some of the action. I like the scenes that you see him fight or like fly or whatever. You know what I mean? Like all those things swing from building to building. I thought that was done pretty well. I liked the costume. And I even think that Tom Holland probably gave his best performance to date in that movie as Spider-Man. But with all of that being said, there's so many things that are strange. The police officer lady that seems to be a reshoot. Not sure why they shoved. I think I know why they shoved her in there, but that wasn't working for me. And of course, the whole Jean Grey thing was dumb, and they kind of neutered the Punisher. Really, you could make a lot of comments about Brand New Day, and still, I will say that when I sat there and watched it, I didn't hate it.
Right, yeah, and it's really hard to top the other one, because in the other one, you have that moment of Andrew Garfield saving MJ. Like, you have moments like that. You have the moment where he's trying to kill Green Goblin and Tobey Maguire stops him. I think No Way Home was a stronger movie, but this one is not. Like I said before, I understand why it made this much money. And keep in mind, Spider-Man as a character is just a juggernaut. He's the biggest superhero on the planet, bar none. This movie made how much? $2 billion.
It's over $2 billion.
Less than 3 weeks. God damn, fuck. What's crazy is Sony is never selling this character back to Disney. They can write that off as an idea.
Oh, they were never going to do that.
That's never happening.
I like Brand New Day, and I like Price was saying with the action scenes are really good. I enjoyed Tom Holland. He was his best performance as Spider-Man. I actually liked the interactions between him and MJ and Ned. The only thing that bugged me was the Elena thing was just out of place. And I didn't like the way they portrayed Jean Grey. Like Bob said in an earlier podcast, it should have been, or Sarah should have been the one doing that. And then Jean Grey be the one like captured and have them rescue her or something. But I actually didn't mind Jean DeWolf in there, the cop. She's been in the comics, and they might be setting that up for future things. But she was like kind of an exposition dump and to help Peter. And she also was like this reflection to say she had her kids with her. and Peter was alone. So it was kind of a reminder there of like, you know, you need family and things like that. So I didn't mind her too much because it wasn't overdone. But overall, like I said, I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was fun. But that Jean Grey thing and that Yelena, that it just was so out of place. It was like it stopped.
They keep trying to shove Yelena into every single thing, and man, is she annoying.
It just stopped the movie dead almost. It's like, oh, I got to go see her. Why? And then the whole thing, well, they got to humiliate him. We'll take your clothes off, get in the tub or the pool or whatever the hell they called it. And I mean, if that was the other way around, let's say Kate Bishop went to go see, you know, Nick Fury about something. He's like, all right, go get in a bikini and get in this bath with me, or I'm not going to give you the information. What? You know, that would have, you know, that people would have freaked out.
Oh, I would say Scarlett Johansson
so out of place.
As Black Widow had way more aura than Yelena does. It's like they're trying to force aura with Yelena. Black Widow Scarlett Johansson just kind of had it. Well, to be fair, she does look better, but I'm just saying, like, the way that they utilize Black Widow to make people like her in the previous movies, it probably should try that again. Have her be like elusive.
Scarlett Johansson was way hotter. And, you know, it's strange. I even have some people I know, they're like, no, we really like Florence Pugh. It's like, I'm sorry. Florence Pugh, at best, you could say that she's cute. She doesn't have that
she's
kind of...
She's not hot. You need hot.
Right.
You know?
For Black Widow, you need hot. Scarlett Johansson, I feel like she was 100% good casting for that role. I never felt that Yelena is good. I don't like the stupid accent, which they should have got. Like, I never liked the stupid. It just annoys me, the accent. Just talk regular. I like,
you're a small potatoes.
Small potato. Like the Scarlett Johansson, she also supposedly was born in Russia or whatever it is, but they knew that they're not going to have her pretend she's Russian all the time because it would be dumb.
You know, I don't mind her too much as a character. I thought she was fine in Thunderbolts, and for what they gave her in Black Widow, she was okay. Yelena, but I don't know. This thing just, I don't know now, making her the leader of the Thunderbolts. And I mean, I guess, you know, they wanted to do that and that's fine. But this one iteration of her just really annoyed me because it just was plopped in this movie and it just wasn't very good. But she's a good actress. Florence Pugh is.
This guy,
you know, my issue.
I'll give her that. She's a good actress.
I was going to say, hi,
Sean.
I don't hate the character. I actually like Florence Pugh, but my issue is that I think it's just that Scarlett Johansson's character. I agree that she look-wise she fits Black Widow better from what you would imagine, but I also think that you know, I think Black Widow was written better as well. I think that's part of the issue as well too. Almost every character from Phase 4 and 5 have been poorly written, and Yelena's one of them. I just don't feel that for her, especially when she's stepping into the mantle. You know she's not going to be loved as much, so you have to give her a rock solid storyline, and they just haven't done that.
And I'm not even saying that like there wasn't issues with these characters. It's just like there was. I'm not even trying to say what these kids are saying these days is correct, but this kind of lingo they have with aura farm, there's no aura with some of these newer MCU characters. So if you killed them all off with Doom, now I'll be cool with it. Hi, Sean. I don't know if I said that earlier, but how you doing, man? So I put out a short where we were talking about superhero movie fatigue, right? So my issue with superhero movie fatigue is people actually don't even know what the definition of fatigue is, right? The definition of fatigue is basically you're tired. That's kind of what it is, right?
I have fatigue every time I come on the show.
Oh God! Oh my
MSK
God!
fatigue.
Yeah, there you go. That's the real fatigue right there.
So when people say things like, "Well, it's not superhero movie fatigue; it's just bad movie fatigue," people don't know that they're one and the same, right? Super movies are movies, obviously, but this guy said, "I'm confused. You say it's not bad movie fatigue? No. That's a straw man. I never not said that. You say it's not bad movie. What? Okay, automatically, I know you're fucking retarded. Then talk about people being obsessed specifically by bad movies. I'm all right. It's like you've walked so far away from the answer you came back to it, not to be rude. I never stated otherwise, though. I've always told people this. If you put out 7 bad superhero movies in a row, people are going to be tired of those 7 movies. Now, are they tired of superhero movies? Looking at all of the numbers based off the box offices we've had for like 6 years, superhero movies are not performing as well as they did from 2010 to 2019, looking at from 2020 to 2026, the 2020 to 2026 period, the movies have not been doing the same. They've not been doing as well, right? Because we've also said this along the show too. You've kind of seen everything, and people are not just going to go watch every single superhero movie just because of the superhero movie. Now, keep in mind, the movies that they're making are not good, and people are going to be tired of the bad superhero movies that they're making. And keep in mind, those are movies, so that would qualify for being a bad movie. If you put out enough bad movies in a row, people are going to get tired of them, right? People say, but MSK, fucking Spider-Man did very well. You goddamn fucking retards that oh my God, Spider-Man's the biggest fucking superhero on the planet. It doesn't matter. Brand New Day, as we've literally just said 3 minutes ago, kind of has very, very big problems writing-wise. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The lowest grossing Spider-Man movie could make like $500 million. He's just that big. So when people are saying, but Spider-Man proves otherwise, what about all those other what about just like last year? Let's take stock of last year. Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, and Brave New World all failed. That's 3 right there. Superman did not do very well. It's 4 movies last year, all released in a row. All of them failed box office wise. But hey, I thought you weren't fatigued of superhero movies. Ah, okay. Yeah, I love how the argument always goes. It only works when the movie makes a lot of money. Even then, if a movie makes a lot of money, doesn't in no way, shape, or form mean that movie's good. What's this, like some weird Captain Marvel logic these people are doing here? Oh, Captain Marvel made a lot of money, so it must have been a good movie. And our movie fucking sucks donkey ass, actually. You know? So this guy said, no, Spider-Man isn't immune. You're blind. You're retarded if you think that. Spider-Man is actually just immune to all that shit. Spider-Man's gonna make money regardless. It just is, as we've seen, right? The difference is we got direct feedback throughout the production of this movie that Tom Holland said, we're not just going to wing it and hope some people show up anyways. People were going to show up anyways. It's Spider-Man. This movie made $2 billion in 3 weeks. I know he said that. I disagree with him. You see how that works? Actors can say whatever they want. I can disagree with them. That's how conversations work. This guy said, yes, people were going to show up for Spider-Man. So your previous statement means nothing then by what he said. But if the movie doesn't look of sound good, people won't show up for it. Not happening with Spider-Man. Not happening with that. Do you want to know? Oh, I can give another example. The Odyssey. The Odyssey made a lot of money because who did it? Christopher Nolan. Okay. If M. Night Shyamalan did the Odyssey, would it have made as much money? No. Nope. So who is doing it matters to a lot of people. If James Cameron did the Odyssey, it would have made a lot of money. But let's say Michael Bay did the Odyssey with explosions of water everywhere. You guys thinking it would have made a lot of money? Probably not. You know? Knowing that the main actor in the movie put his foot down about making a better movie made a lot more people show up than might have. Oh, not true. Not true. That is an intangible you cannot measure yourself. Based off the numbers we just got, none of that matters. People were going to show up regardless anyway. Yep. If a movie is poorly written with poor advertising, like most superhero movies lately, it tends to flop. But that didn't work for Spider-Man. Spider-Man didn't have that, right? But that doesn't really make logical sense because Superman was massively marketed. Superman was massively marketed by Warner Bros. Like they massively marketed the movie. It didn't do that well. Like, did Thunderbolts and Brave New World have a lot of good marketing? I don't remember because they didn't do so well, but like that's really negligible, right? But when you actually show love and respect for the characters through good writing and show people you care in every bit of advertising that leaks to the press, people will show up. It's not true. People said they liked Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts failed. People said that they liked James and Superman. That movie failed. People said they liked Fantastic Four. That movie failed. People said they liked them. No one said they liked the Marvels. No one went to watch that pilot shit. People said they liked Blue Beetle. Made 10 million more than Supergirl. People said they liked Shazam too. That movie failed. People said they liked The Flash. That movie failed. All of these things that people keep bringing up are just intangibles that you can't measure. Yes, if the movie is better written, better characterization, I do agree that it makes it for a better movie, but that doesn't mean it's going to perform financially. But that doesn't mean it's going to perform financially very well. No one is tired of superheroes. Obvious lie from the numbers that we just got. Black Adam, with the biggest movie star in the world, couldn't make $400 million. Black Adam, keep in mind.
By the way,
MSK,
I wanted to bring this up before you wrap up, but I saw something that made me Think of you. I know, scary,
Oh,
right?
God, crazy.
But so I put out my review of Lanterns. You know what one of the comments was? Oh, I enjoyed it, and I'm gonna watch every episode. And I legit went, "Good for you."
It's what are these straw mans people always conjure up? Hey, you know what? I liked it. I'm gonna keep watching it. Never said you weren't allowed to. Never stated otherwise. You are fucking an illiterate retard. How do you even come to these how does this happen for people? How? Price says, MSK, I really love tequila and I love doing shots at a bar. I don't, you know what? I don't drink. That's how those conversations go. That's literally, it's like, but I never said you're not allowed to drink. I'm just drinking myself. Now, to be fair, Bob's drink whiskey on here when I've been ranting. So, it's okay. It's all right.
That's how he copes with this show.
All right. So we're going to wrap it up here. I do have to I got to go somewhere before this place closes in a little bit. So we'll start with Jared. We'll just go around. Jared, do you have anything coming up that you would like to let the audience know about?
Well, go check out the breakdown that Babs and I did for Lanterns. Tomorrow, I'm doing a big Superman Wonder Woman video. I'm going to be doing a video. I'm trying to figure out a follow-up to my hugely successful What People Get Wrong About Wonder Woman's stream. But this week, the next X-Men movie, I believe, is Deadpool. Actually, no, it's New Mutants. So that's the movie night this week.
Oof.
Oh boy, that's going to be fun. But yeah, thanks for having me. And can I take a break next week? It's my turn.
What? I'm paying you millions of dollars to be on the show.
When?
I keep hearing that. I never got nothing.
I pay you guys in clout and exposure. That's what I typically do, actually.
Is that what we're getting?
Price, do you have anything
Yes.
planned coming up you would like to let the audience know about?
Yeah, it's fine. I have some. You can check out my channels or whatever.
Yep.
Love the hype.
Yeah. Should we see some porn, like some sex tape leak about you soon?
I don't think so.
Dang it. All right. Joe, what do you have planned coming up you would like to let the audience know about?
Not much. I was on a podcast for anybody like Star Trek. We did it's called the Brian Donahue podcast, Donhaue, I believe, Donahue. And he's a Star Trek guy. And we actually discussed my favorite episode of Deep Space Nine, which is Far Beyond the Stars. It dropped today. He's not on YouTube, but the podcast is available on all your local, wherever you get your podcasts from. So if you guys want to check that out, the Brian Donahue podcast. Other than that, though, just still working on my book, and hopefully that'll be out in about 5 months. So we'll see you. I'll let you all know when it's ready.
It turns out that Bob is going to go and rewatch the Green Lantern Ryan Reynolds movie. And, that's what
I probably will.
That's another crazy thing a lot of people got to stop doing, too. We get one bad iteration of something that must mean the other bad one is somehow much better. It's like, that's good. All right. That's what we're in these days. Fuck. Is that what we do now? That for everything, the Disney Star Wars movies suck, so it was automatically mean the prequels are good. Yes, because lines where this guy's saying, I hate sand.
But the
Peak
prequels
cinema.
are good.
Peak cinema right there,
They
Jared.
have the best writing of the entire series.
I hate sand, Jared.
I must say, if I have to say, I must say episode 2 is much better written than episode 5.
Oh, the acting in
I'm
that
just
garden
kidding.
was beyond cringe. I love you, Anakin. I would love to jerk your fucking fresh lightsaber cock off right now and make you.
We can't be together. Check out my very seductive dress.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't be together as my literal body is hanging out in front of you. Fucking women, man. And people say women are not just objects for sexuality. It's like, all right, whatever.
She takes off the entire dress and is butt naked in front of him and goes, Anakin, you just don't objectify me.
I hate sand. Peak cinema will never be beaten, obviously. Oh God. But Bob, do you have anything planned coming up you would like to let the audience know about?
Last week I did put out a review. I guess a few days ago, put out a review of The End of Oak Street. Go check that out. On this past Thursday, I was on Criticalist Cast, Unhinged, so go check that out. Also, last panel we did that Steven Seagal tier list. That was a lot of fun. Check that out if you like Steven Seagal. For tomorrow, Dad's Turn to Talk. We are going to be talking The End of Oak Street again with everybody to get everybody's opinions on that. We are going to have Sin from Sin's Corner on with us. And
I didn't agree to that. When did I agree to this?
MSK, when are you going to understand that just because you don't agree with something, that doesn't mean I have to agree with something?
If anything, if you don't agree with it, that's an endorsement.
Yeah.
The thing is,
Sin's going to be on with us tomorrow. We're also going to talk Lanterns episode 1 because I'm curious to see where both Derek and Josh sat on that one. So that's what
I think
I got coming up.
One of your co-hosts liked Brand New Day a lot, but you guys had some problems with it. But I think he gave it like a glowing review, actually.
Yeah, I still give it a pretty high score. I still gave it a 9 out of 10, but I did have the same criticisms when it came to Jean Grey.
Yeah, but tell Sen, hey, if she has any single hot friends that want to sleep with black guys, I'm always here.
Okay.
I'm not leaving.
Sure.
Yeah.
He doesn't hate her that much, MSK.
Oh my god. So yeah, as you guys know, for me, I got podcasts and game streams coming up. I think me and Joe should be doing the show tomorrow if he's not too busy. You're gonna go watch the end of Oak Street, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna be gone tomorrow. So
Good lord. See,
hey, we were supposed to do it last week and you canceled on me.
I didn't. I got things going on. I got plans. I got a life. I got the wife. I got the kids. I got businesses. I got Lamborghinis to worry about.
Actually, you texted me and said, I'm gonna sit home and cry. Oh no.
That's what my
No,
wife
actually, you had to go to work.
Yeah, that's crazy. I got called in to work.
Yeah, if we ever plan to do something, you get called into work, just to let you know. As soon as you know, just give me a message so I know that.
Yeah, how long?
Busy,
it's crazy. People, I don't even want to go and see the movie. I don't know what other big movies are coming out that we're supposed to be watching because I don't think there is, honestly.
Not too much, but
yeah,
I made plans to go, and so we're gonna go tomorrow. But I'll be back next week to enlighten you, MSK, on how not to be crazy. Oh.
Yeah, it's crazy. Maybe this month. No, we'll be reviewing Lanterns next week.
Oh
sadly.
God, we're gonna do that every week because I'm probably not gonna watch them.
You got to watch it, Bob. Joe, Bob. You guys all look the same at this
Maybe
point
I'll
now.
just take the next 10 weeks off.
Look, I never. The contract doesn't state that at all. Period.
Oh,
but yeah, thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK Show. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to every single person's YouTube channel on here and follow them on social media, wherever they're on social media. And we'll see you guys